Impact segment tonight. Plenty of controversy at a big Republican fundraiser in Washington this week. First, Sarah Palin was denied a speaking role, but not so actor Jon Voight. He really spoke.
We are becoming a weak nation. Obama really thinks he is a soft-spoken Julius Caesar. He thinks he's going to conquer the world with his soft-spoken sweet talk, and really thinks he's going to bring all the enemies of the world into a little playground where they'll swing each other back and forth. We and we alone are the right frame of mind to free this nation from this Obama oppression.
Wow. Here now, Mr. Voight. So what is your essential beef when you just cut down, it was a long speech you gave, with President Obama? What's the main complaint?
Well, there's essentially this, Bill, if I had to break it down. We were warned by Hillary Clinton that he had no experience, that he had no qualifications. We were warned by his now Vice President, Joe Biden, he had no experience. So he was a novice. And now we're getting what we could have expected if we had listened. We have a fellow who's bringing us to chaos and socialism.
I don't see the chaos. In Iraq, he's pretty much doing what Bush did. He's keeping the soldiers there. There may be chaos when we start to withdraw, but right now it's...
The chaos I'm speaking of is economic chaos.
Okay, but let's stay with foreign policy. We'll get into... Because you made some points about Julius Caesar wants to convince the world. Obviously, you feel he's naive and idealistic.
Well, I feel he's weak.
Feel he's weak.
And just exactly why we have this muscle flexing from Korea. Nothing's happening.
What would you do, though? I mean, you know, we've talked this over. It's a very tough situation in Korea.
Well, there must be a response.
What kind of a response? Now we're getting into a really tough area.
Do I have the experience to say something that deeply needs to be said? I have a head on my shoulders, and I can think of a few things, but certainly they should be let to know that there were going to be consequences.
I think you're right. I think that Obama has to basically say to them, look, you can't be kidnapping American citizens, and if you do, you'll pay a price. But he, as we said, Kim Jong-il wants Obama to overreact. Now, going back to the experience...
Is that what you think it is?
Oh, yeah. I think Kim Jong-il wants...
I don't think he thinks there's going to be any response whatsoever.
You may be right, but I think he wants one. He'd love for President Obama to send over some bombers and do something. He would love that. That's what Kim Jong-il wants. Now,
how do you know that?
It's an educated guess because I followed the man. Okay. He's a provocateur. He has no value of life at all. He's like Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein thought he'd get away with it, and he wound up dead. Kim Jong-il, same mindset. Tyrants are always like that. Now, when Obama got elected, were you willing to give him a chance, or from the jump were you saying, this guy is going to be a disaster?
Well, look, we all want our president to be supported by our country and to do the right thing. But I knew a little bit more. Look, he was a fellow who was associated with all the wrong people. The signs were up. His associations with Belair's, with Alinsky, with Acorn, with Flager, with Wright. But no one seemed to take the warnings. Well, and his inexperience was quite evident.
Millions of people voted against him. It's just that more that voted for him. But you were willing to give him a chance?
Absolutely.
You were. What turned it for you? See, he's been in office now for less than 6 months. It seems longer. Doesn't that seem longer? It seems longer, but it's been less than 6 months that he's taken over. What in that period of time, in the 6 months, turned you saying, hey, the guy's a disaster and he ain't going to get any better?
Well, take a look at the stimulus, the so-called stimulus package.
Okay.
The stimulus package and his proposed new budget. What is it? What is it going to do for our country?
What do you think it's going to do?
It's going to leave our grandchildren with great burden and great deat.
Do you think...
Is it going to get us jobs? Has it done anything to get us jobs? Obama himself said we're going to hit a ceiling of 8% unemployment. We are now at 9.4% unemployment.
Now, my colleague Glenn Beck thinks that it's going to be economic Armageddon, that's what's ahead. Do you think that? Total collapse of the economy, unemployment at 12, 14%.
That's where we're headed.
You think so?
Well, listen, here's a very simple aspect. If you're going to have business, if you're going to encourage business, which of course is going to provide jobs, you know, you don't do it the way this administration is doing it. They're actually attacking the entrepreneurs. They're attacking business.
Not yet.
They're attacking.
Not yet.
The
they
wage,
may. If they raise taxes, they will be.
They're attacking the wage payer. As Abraham Lincoln said, you don't help the wage earner by attacking the wage payer. It's very simple stuff. It's not very complicated.
Do you listen to Rush Limbaugh on the radio?
Actually, I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Rush.
That's all right. You're a busy guy.
I'm doing a lot of other things. I've heard him several times. I heard his interview with Hannity.
You sound like Mr. Limbaugh. I mean, you guys are pretty much on the same parallel track. That this guy, President Obama, is a disaster, and you know things are going to really come to a head. So my final question to you is there anything that Obama could do at this point to change your mind?
Well, listen, Pravda said that we were amazingly speeding toward Marxism at an amazing rate. Pravda, which was the,
Russian news agency.
Yeah, which is the Soviet news agency. I think it's evident. I think people just have to acknowledge it, say, yes, that's what's happening here, fellas. This is a very extreme agenda.
I think it could, but I don't think it is there yet. I think that there's a lot of decisions to be made. I think that next November, we'll know. Mr. Voight, thanks very much for speaking up. Whether you agree or
I don't agree. I think we have any time.
I was going to give you a compliment.
We got to go.
Whether you agree or disagree with you, you're absolutely exercising your free speech rights, and I wish more Americans would do that. You're very courageous. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Directly